Hello, I am Jamila McMallow, and I'm a mindset coach for high performing women and established business owners. And I am going live with you today to talk with you on this topic of, is the core of your marriage strong? So I want to start by sharing a quick story with you. I recently started doing this workout program that's designed to help women um, heal their transverse abdominal. I think that's the word, abs. So basically, I mean, and if you've had a baby, your abs separate. And I had 3 babies in 4 years, and so my abs are, pretty separated. And so, that mom pooch is something that I'm just not feeling, and I'm trying to get rid of. But the point is those transverse abdominal muscles are your deep core. They're very, very deep down. It's like they're like a corset. And so what happens is when you have children and they separate and they weaken, you can start to have all kinds of problems like, you know, the mom pooch, your belly sticking out. You can have back problems. You can even, you hear older women joke sometimes that they pee when they sneeze or laugh. And so all of that is a result of these muscles not being strengthened, not being taken care of or healed. So essentially, these muscles separated and they're no longer healed. And so I'm doing this program because I want to heal them because I want my belly to be flat again. I don't expect my body to be the way it was before I had kids, but I do want to strengthen those muscles because they worked hard, to support life. And I have to now do the deliberate and intentional work to heal them so that I can go forward with the rest of my life, getting, the results that I want to see, in my body, in my life, etc. Because one of the things that can happen, and you'll know this, is that if you haven't healed these muscles, and you go on to like try to do a regular fitness program, maybe you find one that you really like, that you're really motivated about, that really kind of gets you maybe results in every other area except your belly. And that's why, it's because these muscles haven't healed, and so you can't even get the maximum benefit or results even from a really great fitness program. Okay, so I use this as an example because perhaps you chose a really great husband, right? Just like that fitness program that you like, that keeps you motivated, that you are getting results in all other areas around your body, but you're still not seeing that mom pooch go away. You're like, what is going on with my abs? So you chose that great fitness program. You chose that great husband, but your life and your marriage is not really creating, you're not seeing the results that you thought that you would by choosing this great man. You're not really feeling the level of fulfillment or excitement or thrill or passion that you thought you would have. And so you're like, what's up? I thought I did what I was supposed to do. I chose the great guy, which is part of the equation, right? A very important part. Because if you don't choose someone with whom you're compatible, if you don't choose someone who has good values, okay, integrity, who is responsible, all those things, and yeah, you're setting yourself up for a whole nother set of problems. And so I'm really talking to you if you've chosen a great man, a good man as your husband. I'm not talking to you if you're married to a man who is toxic, abusive, a cheater, all of those things. That's not, I am not someone who serves women in that situation. Okay. There are other practitioners who serve women in that situation. That's not what I do. So I serve women who have these great husbands, these good husbands, but are not feeling like their lives are reflecting, what they thought they were signing up for. So, like I said, here it is, right? Great husband, just like that great fitness program. But the results, you're working as hard as you can, but it's just not happening. Oh, hey, Eddie. Thanks for tuning in. Just saying hi to somebody who commented. But you think that just choosing that great husband is going to change your life for the better in all these ways. And yes, right, it can, but just like that fitness program, you're never going to get the results that you want until you heal your core. See, those muscles are weak. They can't support these moves that you're doing. In fact, some of the moves that you're doing may be causing further damage. And so you got into this relationship with this man who, for all intents and purposes, is showing up in a healthy way. And you don't understand why you're having so much trouble functioning in this relationship, why you're not seeing the results in your life that you thought you would. And it's because at your core, there are some things that are unhealed. And see, those transverse abdominal muscles are like our corset. Like I said, they strengthen us, they hold us up. It's a solid, it's foundation. So within us, that core of who we are, that's our foundation. It is the strength upon which we are built. And if it's weak or unhealed or stretched out from going through so much stuff, then no, we can't do the big moves that marriage requires us to make. It requires us to make big moves to bring our lives into harmony with another human being. Marriage is the closest relationship you will ever have with another human being. Okay? And you got to show up 100, 100. And even if you chose well, you still got to show up 100. But some of us have not shown up at 100. You're doing 60, 70, maybe even 50. And the truth is, you didn't know. You didn't know until you started trying to be in this relationship, in this marriage. And now you're experiencing all of these symptoms, right? And those symptoms, like I said, are feeling some of the things that I have been hearing from my clients and women who have expressed a desire to work with me is they are feeling this lack of fulfillment. They're feeling like they are not being seen and heard. They feel like they can't be themselves. They feel like life has gotten boring and monotonous. And see, what's interesting about that is none of that has anything to do with your husband. None of that has anything to do with your husband. Okay. It has to do with the fact that at the core of who you are, you've got some unhealed stuff going on. And so, some of the areas that I focus with my clients that we dig into, right, in that foundation are the things that took place in childhood, your relationship with your father, your relationship with your mother, any other relationships that you have that perhaps maybe cause some type of trauma, the conditioning that you received culturally from your family, etc. And let me say, all of us experienced childhood trauma because none of us had perfect parents. Okay. And all trauma means is a painful experience. Okay. You got a lot of people out here exaggerating what trauma is. They act like you have to sit in it, marinate in it, wear it as a label. It means you can't move on or do anything, or you got to do all this. You ain't got to do none of that. Trauma simply means you have had a painful experience. And what happens when you hurt yourself? You put a band-aid on it, or you go to the doctor, you get the bone set, you put a cast on, you do what you need to do so that it can heal. You do not hobble along and just learn how to live with it. You do what you need to do so that the wound can heal. And so that is what I do with my clients is we go down and we deal with the core of who they are, address these traumas, these wounds, and allow them to heal so that they can become strengthened, so that you can become strengthened at your core to show up 100 and 100 in your marriage. Okay? Because one of the ways that this is impacting those feelings of not being happy, not feeling fulfilled, not feeling excited, is that if the relationship with your father in childhood was strained, okay, then you may have a negative view and definition of what men are supposed to look like. And so we live what we learn, and we are attracted to what is familiar. And that could be toxicity for you. And so if your husband is not toxic on a subconscious level, he's not lighting you up because you're attracted to what is familiar. Okay. So even though you chose wisely, you still may be drawn to toxicity. And so you may be inadvertently trying to create it, thereby to create familiarity, or you may find yourself finding fault or drawing away like this is too boring. There's no, you know, and all that is what's going on with you at a core level is out of harmony or out of alignment with the man that you chose. And so the man that you chose, you did good. He's not the issue. It's you getting the core of who you are on board, maybe for the first time. And that means you got to do some healing. Like I said, you got to heal that core, strengthen those muscles so that when you start going through the moves and the things that you have to do to make a marriage work, you're not making those wounds worse, and you are creating the results and seeing the results that you desire. Okay? So the question is the core of your marriage strong? Which really, what I'm saying to you is, are you healed at your core enough to show up in your marriage 100%? Are you showing up 100%? Or are you hobbling along at 60, 70, maybe even 50%, kind of doing the best you can? Okay. And we can sometimes make choices and decisions outside of our pattern, in an effort to try to avoid creating, like maybe you have a history of toxic relationships with men and you're like, I'm not doing that again. So you learned enough to know to do the opposite. But what you didn't understand is that simply choosing the opposite doesn't bring the rest of you along for the journey. And at a certain point, your core beliefs, the core of who you are, your foundation is going to become is shaky, and it's going to catch up with you. And so that is what is causing these feelings. So just to kind of review, if you have chosen a good husband, a great husband, but you're finding yourself feeling like, I don't feel fulfilled and all these things, what's going on is there's a disconnect between how you internally define what a man in a relationship is supposed to look, feel, and be like versus the man that you chose. And chances are your internal belief system and your internal standards are based on some toxic characteristics, a toxic framework that has to be unraveled and healed. And no, it doesn't have to take a long time. Not at all. Okay. And here's what I want you to understand is that this is not, you shouldn't feel bad about this, right? You shouldn't feel like, man, I thought I was over that, or I thought I was smarter than that. Look, I get it. You're successful in your career, or you're very successful in your business. You know how to make money. You know how to make big moves. You know how to do all kinds of things. In fact, you're a trailblazer. You've been doing things that nobody else has done in your family, other women in your life, whatever, for a long time. I get that. You're very powerful. So don't beat yourself up if in this area you're having a challenge, because it's two different skill sets. Okay. Being a great entrepreneur, being a great corporate leader requires a different skill set than being a great wife. Being great in a happy, healthy relationship with a good man is two different things. However, that same drive and determination and focus and commitment level that you bring to everything that you do in your corporate career, you absolutely can apply that to the manner in which you approach your healing and the work that you must do in order to strengthen the core of who you are, and therefore strengthening the core of your marriage. You are the type of woman that I work with. My clients are driven, go-getters, powerful, all those things. They know how to make money. They know how to create success in their careers. It's just when it comes to this relationship thing, with men, they get a little, little like, what's going on? And that's okay, because if we're not perfect. None of us are. And just because we got it right in one area of our lives doesn't mean we have to have it right in every area. But like I said, that same drive, determination, and focus and commitment that has gotten to you to where you are in your career can absolutely get you to the success that you want to have in your marriage. Because I know you love your husband. I know you know he's a great guy. And I know that you do want to experience that happiness, that fulfillment, that passion, that excitement. You want that with him. And so you just are like, what do I need to do? Or what's going on? Or I got to get me together. And I absolutely can help you with that. You are not alone. You're not on an island and you're not crazy. Okay. So if you would like some help with that, the link is in the description to book a call with me. Or if you're watching this video on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can send me a private message. Or if you're watching the replay on YouTube, you also can send me a message through Facebook or on Instagram. Okay. So that's all I've got for you. And please, if you're watching the replay, drop a replay in the comments so I can know that you were here. And I look forward to seeing you next time. All righty? Take care.